Hi, Hinsters. I hope you're keeping well. Happy Monday, Moon Day. I'm back with a late one, officially, on the full moon in Gemini. This is part of my Moonwatch series. I am Heaney, a spiritual astrologer. You can like this video if you like what I do. You can subscribe to my channel and get in touch in the description box below if you'd like a reading with me or to inquire about anything else. I do still have spaces on my online course, which is an introduction to spiritual astrology through like a Hellenistic lens, and it's still free. So take advantage of that if you want. Yeah, full moon in Gemini, officially November 27th. And what do we have then? We've got this on a Monday moon day here in Korea at 20 degrees. And we have the not 20 degrees, that's something else. Gemini, it's in my 12th house. We have the Sun conjunct Mars and Ceres at this full moon. And there is this T-square with Lilith in Virgo, and also this includes then Saturn in Pisces. So I get this kind of Martian message of where's he at? Like, where's someone or something at? Like, where are they at? You know, Sagittarius season in general can offer us these big, blatant, unapologetic questions. But I'm also getting this kind of like culmination for many people of the sort of Christmas date chemistry, the sort of Christmas eat vibes really kicking in for many people. And full moons are always culminations, and so there can be this feeling for some of something just to celebrate or to be really joyful about. And we have the host of this full moon in its detriment, that's Mercury in Sagittarius. And so this is doing fruitless shiz for another. This is people wasting their time on you as well. This is Gemini here involved in this full moon. And we have the twins, then we have the god of tricks. We have the god of tricks, or the cosmic trickster, in all of its masculine expressions. And we have the Sun in Sagittarius, which is also quite a masculine expression. And this is also stuff like wit really coming to the fore, and also people missing the point. With Mercury in Sagittarius, a lot of the time we can miss the point. We can just get into, I said in my last video, I think, kind of spirals, pointless spirals or rants. But also, yeah, say the wrong thing or produce the wrong source to kind of try to back up a point or an opinion. And this is also with Gemini here. We have the cosmic weaver, quilt weaver really coming through. And this can upset some people because we have this fusion of the new and the old selves coming through and being kind of really spiky now, and sometimes shot out at people or at ourselves. Like sometimes we can trip ourselves up in Sagittarius season because, again, it's a very spicy kind of season. It's the last fire season of the zodiac, and full moons are those kind of explosive, culminative moments for many people. And this can be a great time to ghost someone or to be ghosted by someone. Gemini, again, the twins, dualities, pairs, and the couple and choices, the divine choice. Even in the tarot, it was traditionally considered a more leaning to the negative side card, the Lover's card, also being associated with Gemini. And yeah, just having to make choices that are very like upsetting to another person. And this is kind of like being on Reddit or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, whatever social scrollage we might use, but like being exposed to the realness through text or through images or both or videos, and or trying to propagate some kind of realness or push some points. But again, it can kind of really backfire if we're trying to be too I don't know, too preppy or too propagative or too signally with the virtues or to this or that, and kind of like glamour posting about things that are not really glamorous at all, that are quite horrific, but also things that are quite removed from the very people who are doing this kind of propagative um, shouting and screaming and accusatory stuff. This is a mutable fire season. It's very messy, and a lot of things that can kind of come back at us like boomerangs. Sagittarius, this is like also a kind of venturing deep into fantasy, into philosophy and dogma and theories and curiosity. It's not always about this kind of galloping jock, but Sagittarius is also very often associated with martial arts, and we have the sun there and opposing the moon in Gemini. So, again, somebody who's very willing to attack or be on the offensive or the defensive in some mental sense, or with the kind of facts that they carry. Or the opinions they carry, or it can just be a very uncomfortable time when you're having to really focus on someone, what they're saying, without exploding or without saying what you want to say, and trying to avoid very much so that temptation when you're listening to someone to just listen so that you can speak. You know what I mean? When you listen to someone, not really taking in what they say, but you're just waiting for your turn, which is not listening at all. But that can be kind of also the tension that this full moon in Gemini is bringing, or just kind of having a conversation, but in your head, there's something else you want to say to that person. So there can be this duality to it that is uncomfortable, or tense with full moons. This is an opposition after all, the sun opposing the moon. So something tense as well can be there. And with full moons, we get, yes, emotional releases. We get breakups sometimes. This is realizing or coming to terms with something about a relationship. Very often with Gemini, we're dealing with pairs and relations with others. And there's also this idea that's coming through of like what I was saying or what I was thinking was right, or like the proof is right here, right now, and you can't do anything about it. Sagittarius can be very much like that, this big pusher of the truth, the proclaimer of the truth, and kind of just being on their merry way, whether we like it or not. And this is like, I don't give a freak. This is like, I believe in my knowledge. This is also because we have a full moon here. This is not just like cathartic, or it's not just consciousness coming to the fore, or facts and knowledge and opinions coming to the fore. It's also cathartic around this full moon. So there can be these explosions, again, of knowledge that are providing some people with this sense of release and or relief. And with Sagittarius involved here, we've got finesse really being a big theme, and we have this philosophy of giving people their flowers. Just, you might really dislike someone or really dislike something, but you can't. Sagittarius season always points that little finger at us, like prods us in that way of like, you can't deny that today they look good, or they wore something in a very stunning way, or they said something very eloquently, or they achieved a particular thing completely off their own back. Those things cannot be denied, and this is like one of the big differences between Sagittarius and Scorpio season, where in Scorpio season we can be more embroiled in sometimes grudges, but also I think it's more a process in Scorpio season of trying to purge out toxicities and insecurities and jealousies and all these kind of deep, murky, watery um, things that can plague the mind and the heart and the spirit uh, in that deep, dark well that is Scorpio season. But Sagittarius season is a bit more like just being fine with it. And yeah, just being fine with it and just like being on your merry way and walking away from it in some cases. Um, but that's what I wanted to say. But like, it's kind of coming full circle with truth, like this idea or this feeling that we can't just hate someone or something for the sake of it. There's always this way in which hatred kind of is a mirror reflecting ourselves back at us. And yeah, being that mature spirit or grown up, or a mature spirit basically being something that can go around it instead of trying to like run right into it or attack it. But there will be this with the full moon in Gemini, this wanting to explode and this wanting to say the thing. I just think that Gemini is kind of requiring us to really struggle and really put a lot of energy into making mental connections with others. So it's what I'm trying to say is it's more important to have a mental connection with others, like the Lover's card in the Kim Krantz tarot deck, which I have used on my channel before. It's actually two birds that kind of fly in the same direction but at different levels, and that's what I very often read as the being on the same card page, on the same page card in the tarot. So I think that's really being brought to the fore for a lot of us. Like, it doesn't matter what the disagreements are really, but what matters is trying to strive for the same thing, or at least be on the same page. Sometimes we get these questions around this time of like, what more do you want me to say? What more do you expect of me? How much clearer can I make it? Or we might be getting these questions from others, or like, what do you expect me to say to kind of push you further? Sagittarius season can be, you can, you can shoot yourself in the foot. It's fine. And it's not like a harsh way. Again, this is coming out of Scorpio season, so there's nothing harsh about it. It's actually this allowance for failure or mistakes or messiness. But there's also, because Jupiter's here, there's this sense of, but you also have this abundance of options. You can choose to get in a strop about someone or some situation and storm out of a room, or you can choose to stay there. Again, this moon sun opposition, that tension, you can choose to stay there and see if something else like deeper or newer can be discovered or worked out. But again, it's a full moon, so it's not always like a nice kind of lackadaisical dynamic. But like Sagittarius also kind of has, again, coming out of Scorpio, it's done all the purging, it's done all the kind of stubborn, emotional, internalized rage stuff, it's done all of that. And so there's this way Sagittarius season is like often calling us to just be like, you know what, you can do whatever you want or not do whatever you don't want to do. But there's this impatience with Sagittarius season. This is like the train is leaving anyway, so like you do you? You get on board or you don't get on board. You play ball or you don't play ball. And that's another big thing with this opposition between Gemini and Sagittarius. Like, you're going to play the game or you're not going to play the game. Like, it's mutable energy. It's like there's not really, there's nothing, it's not about being in charge or in the lead. It's not a cardinal season, and it's not about being right or wrong either. It's not a fixed season, and it's not about like trying to close or finish or end things anymore. There is this freedom kind of sparking and sporing out a bit more. So like there again with Sagittarius season in general, as I think I said in my last video, there is more room for forgiveness for many people. And this is also with Sagittarius coming out of Scorpio, saying the thing more outwardly. There's no more fear or like apology. There's no hiding those truths of ours. But this is again not like cardinal or fixed. It's not Aries fire. It's not Leo fire. This is like, I've been telling you this. This could be to ourselves as well, right? Like, I've been having this on my mind for months or years even. Like, or it's been like this. You or I, whoever, we have just not been seeing it. And again, it's like not giving someone or something their flowers, like deliberately. It's like being a hater. And again, Scorpio out of Sagittarius season, it's not the time for like being a hater. That kind of stuff gets pointed out really quickly, really easily. Like when we are just doing something because we don't like someone or something. There's the pettiness can get pointed out real quick in Sag season. And also Sagittarius season has this lovely like magic to it. It has, all the seasons have their magic, but the Sag season magic can often be like one kiss is all it takes, and so there can be this big explosive or expansive around this full moon even way in which there are blessings for many people, blessings for when we have been patient, when we have stuck it out with something or somebody, and there's this comes then with a release from the overthinking and from like things like deliberate trickery. When those negative sides of Gemini come in, it's like getting away from all of that. When we've tried to stray from that and overlook all of that, there are these great magical blessings where just one conversation is all it takes, one interaction, one kiss, one sweet sentence that you learn for your self-worth and your self-propagation and for your freedom. And once we learn it or pick it up or pull it out of our pocket again and start using it, things just feel much more like the adventure that this year is supposed to feel like for us. So that's that. I'll be back very soon with another video, maybe on the Dragon Year or Mars and Sagittarius. I don't know yet, but I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Love you.